These are my 10 favorite recipes that you can find on Vincenzo's plate. These are recipes that you must try in your life because I believe you will be addicted and you won't stop making them. The first recipe I must introduce you to and I want you to try is a dish I created. It's a dish that I want you to make more famous than Alfredo sauce. It's the Vincenzo's plate sauce. The Vincenzo's plate sauce is made with pistachio pesto, shrimps, lemon rind, and lots more, and lots of love. Watch it and learn how to make it. This is the tagliatelle alla Vincenzo's plate sauce. The tagliatelle alla Vincenzo's plate sauce. Maybe it's too hard for you to say it, so let's call it the VP sauce. To make tagliatelle alla Vincenzo, we need 250 grams of tagliatelle pasta. 250 grams is about enough for 2 people. For me, it's enough just for me, but for 2 people should be enough. For the pistachio pesto, we need half the amount of the pasta we use. So in this case, 250 grams of pasta, we're gonna use 125 grams of pistachio. 2 lemons, 250 grams of raw shrimps, prawns. Then we need fennel, okay? But what we are using from the fennel is not the actual fennel, we are using the fennel leaf. And then we need 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil for the fry pan, 7 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil for the pistachio pesto, salt and pepper, and lots of love. So let's prepare all our ingredients. Here we got the fennel leaf. You don't need much, okay? Just put as much as you like. Chop it, like if it's parsley. Just chop it. Now we want to cut the lemon enough, get our pistachio, and we put it in a blender. And here we go with the 7 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You might need more, maybe. Let's see how we go. Like it needs more extra virgin olive oil. So we're gonna put more. You know what we need right now? 1 little splash of water. It's about 1 tablespoon in there. And this is the final touch. This is how the pesto will look like, see? Now we're cooking this on a medium-low heat. Don't rush. Take your time, please. 10 minutes and you're done, okay? 10 minutes, this recipe will be finished. You will be on the table eating. 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Now we're cooking the shrimps, and they take a few minutes to cook. We're going to cook the shrimps with the lemon juice. Get these beautiful flavors from the lemons. We want the shrimps to make love with the lemons. We're gonna add the pesto, the pistachio pesto, and here we go. Now we give it a nice stir. We can now put this on the side and boil the pasta. 1 generous tablespoon of sea salt in the boiling water. Always read the instruction on the pasta packet. This pasta needs 6 minutes from the moment you put them in the boiling water. So, see you in 6 minutes, tagliatelle. After about a minute, the pasta is in there, you just stir, so the pasta is alive. Yes, baby, don't worry, I'm gonna put you together with the sauce. Pasta water in there, spread it around, beautiful. Now we put the pasta in, sprinkle the lemon zest everywhere, the fennel leaf, and I like to toss. It needs more pasta water, it's a bit dry, put more pasta water. And now we toss. Come on, look at this, look at that. There's cream without the cream, see that? That's better than Alfredo, look. This is all natural, natural. Look at this, look at it, let's see how creamy it is. Come on, come closer, come and have a look at this beautiful pasta, look at that. See the cream, see how creamy it is without the cream? Huh? Who said that you need cream to have a creamy dish? Well, listen to the sound, listen to the sound. This is a creamy sound. Can I have it? Silky, delicate, sexy. Yum, the pistachio, the crunchy feel in your mouth. This is heaven. There are so many other recipes I want you to make and introduce you to, but this pasta with chickpeas, it's a one-pot pasta, it's fantastic, it's simple, it's very underrated, and it's not right. This pasta needs to be at least a weekly meal during the winter season. The pasta with chickpeas, it's a must, and this is how you make it. This is chickpeas pasta. This is the one-pot pasta I love. This is vegan, vegetarian, this is full of flavors, full of energy, full of proteins, and it will make you happy. To make my favorite one-pot pasta, we need 350 grams of ditalini rigati pasta, 2 small cans of chickpeas, 1 carrot chopped into pieces, 1/4 of onion chopped into pieces, and 1 garlic, 1 small can of peeled tomatoes, fresh rosemary, a few bay leaves, pecorino cheese, as much as you like, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. First thing we're going to do is to separate the chickpeas. So we have 1 small can of chickpeas in a bowl. We're going to use this for the sauce. And 1, it's here because we're going to turn this into a cream. Okay, so let's put a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil, a few tablespoons. Now get a hand blender or use a big blender if you want and blend them. You might need to add a splash of water, so here we go. Put about 2-3 tablespoons of water. It's gonna take the pasta to the next level. Now we need to blend or crush the tomatoes. You can use passata. I like to use peeled tomatoes because I taste the tomatoes a lot more. It's the closest I can get to fresh. And now we gently crush these tomatoes. Now be generous with extra virgin olive oil. And when I say generous, I'm talking about 4-5 tablespoons. We're going to cook the carrot and the onion together. This is a soffritto. At the same time now, I'm going to add the bay leaf, so it gives the flavor to the soffritto, and the rosemary, make sure it's fresh. Now it's time for the garlic, okay? So I like to crush my garlic. Now put about 2 tablespoons of water in this. So this way we don't burn the garlic. Now we cover it again. The soffritto should be cooked for at least 10 minutes. So now we want to take this off, which is the branch from the rosemary. We don't want to eat that. Now we can add the beautiful sauce that we crushed, the peeled tomatoes. So here they go. Now quickly stir. Now we're going to add the chickpeas. Let's put them in. Now what we need to do is to put some salt, put some pepper. This is beautiful, full of flavors. All I want to do now is to remove the bay leaf. The bay leaf gave the flavors to the tomato sauce, which is important, but now we can get the bay leaf out. We don't want to eat the bay leaf. Now we put the pasta in. Now stir. I want the pasta to get the flavors. At the moment, we are not cooking the pasta yet, okay? So the instruction on the packet says, cook the pasta al dente for 10 minutes, okay? So I'm going to cook the pasta for 10 minutes, but I haven't started counting the time yet. This is the moment that the pasta is mixing with the sauce. Okay, like that, beautiful. Now we can add 1 mug of water, just water from the tap. So we put it in there. And we cook this like a risotto, okay? We need to be here for 10 minutes. Keep stirring it, keep an eye on it, okay? This is what we do now. We stir, and we want to see the pasta cooking. The pasta has to cook. Let's put the stove up. We want to actually boil the pasta now, okay? But at the same time, we need to stir because we don't want the pasta to get stuck to the bottom. As you can see, we don't have too much water in there. So it is important that we use the risottatura technique. It's like when you cook risotto. You're there stirring. So I've got 10 minutes to count from now. The moment you stop stirring, you need to be careful because the pasta can get stuck to the bottom, okay? So as you can see, there is not much water in there. So maybe I need to add a little bit more water. So don't be scared of adding more water. I've just added an extra mug. Maybe it's too much. I don't think so. Normally, 2 full mugs of water will cook these 350 grams of ditalini. Guys, have a look inside. This is nice and creamy. There's not much water left. Let's see how creamy it is already. Before we add the chickpeas cream, I need to make sure the pasta is cooking well. It needs about 3-4 more minutes. So now we can add the chickpeas cream. So let's go in to the chickpeas. Go all the way in. For the cream you got left in there, let's put some, we have some cream left in there, so let's put some water to clean this. All right, perfect. And now we stir. This beautiful chickpeas cream is gonna take this dish to the next level. Look how creamy it is. And when I put pecorino at the end, it's gonna be even creamier. As you can see, the pasta is cooking now in the cream, and I don't think we need any water, but if you are worried, I'll do this with you. We add more water, okay, just a little bit more, not too much. And you will see the pasta will absorb the water, okay? It might look runny now, but I promise you it's not gonna be runny. This pasta will be creamy and full of flavors. I think we have about 2 more minutes before we can serve. It might look runny to you, but this actually will thicken because the chickpeas cream is in there. So just wait the extra 2 minutes and you will see what this is gonna turn like. All right, so the pasta is ready, guys. Look at that. Pasta is ready. As you can see, it's creamy without the cream. So it looks beautiful, see? Nice. What we need to do now is get it off the stove. Put this one here, you don't see it here, do you? Now this is what we want to do. We get this off the stove, and look at that. And just move it a little bit, okay? I'm just gonna move it. The dish is perfect as it is. Keep it like that if you want to have it vegan, but I need pecorino cheese. I always put pecorino cheese in my food, so here it is. Let's sprinkle some nice pecorino. You can be very generous, please. And now we mix it. Stir, stir. Now we can serve this beautiful, wonderful pasta. All right, time to serve. Oh, I love it, look at that. Look how pretty this is. See how creamy it is? See, it's not runny, so it is creamy, full of flavors. This is what you want to achieve. If you want to take it to the next level again, put some rosemary, which we are gonna chop very fine, and it will give beautiful flavors. So this is what we do. Go here, we get them off. We crush. Now we chop. Beautiful. And now this is going to be our decoration. A little bit more pecorino. And now we can serve it. The best time of the video recipe. It's time to eat, ladies and gentlemen. Look, listen to the sound. Creamy. Cheesy. Full of flavors. Pasta cooked to perfection. The chickpeas are full of flavors. Such a simple, cheap ingredient, full of flavors. Wow. Another recipe is my Nonna potato gnocchi. You guys eat gnocchi, people love gnocchi, but some people don't because it's cooked the wrong way. Many people fry the gnocchi because the gnocchi are not good and they have to find a way to make it taste good. Guys, Nonna potato gnocchi are the best potato gnocchi you will ever eat in your life. This is a video where my wife, the new gnocchi queen, and Nonna share the recipe with you. So you must watch this because you will be eating gnocchi the right way, and there is no other way from now on for you to eat gnocchi.
These are potato gnocchi, the real gnocchi from Italy, made by the queen. And
Suzanne.
these are gonna be the gnocchi that you wanna serve to your family. They are beautiful, fluffy, they melt in your mouth.
They do. They're like little pillows.
They are, and Nonna is gonna show you also how to make the sauce, the perfect sauce for gnocchi. So what ingredients do we need to make Nonna's gnocchi?
Okay, so to make Nonna's incredible gnocchi, you need 5 to 6 potatoes, so approximately 1 kilo, 300 grams of flour, a little bit extra for when you're kneading, and 1 egg. So to make Nonna's yummy sauce to go with your gnocchi, you need 1 litre of tomato passata. Nonna, of course, uses her fresh one. You need half a carrot, half an onion, and a celery stalk. No leaves, just half of it, and a fresh bunch of basil, some extra virgin olive oil, and salt and pepper. So we start by peeling the potatoes to prepare them. Some people actually keep the skin on.
Adesso questo l'abbiamo sbucciato, io adesso li lavo bene bene, poi li facciamo bollire. Adesso lo lavate, lo facciamo così.
So Nonna's method is to get your water boiling and add your potatoes. Some people actually don't wait for the water to boil and have the potatoes already in the water and then let it boil. Nonna's method is a little different so that the potatoes aren't actually in the water for as long. It's time to check if the potatoes are ready. So scoop some out, check with a fork, and see how the fork goes right through. They're perfect. Time to get them out.
Perfetto.
And so now we can pop them in here and start to crush them down. If you don't have one of these very handy tools, you can use a fork, but it just takes a little bit longer. And you can see it all coming out now here.
Adesso faccio allargare un po' le patate così si raffredda, perché le patate devono essere fredde, altrimenti si ammolla.
Bring them all
Ci
together.
metto un uovo.
And just 1 egg, organic, free range, straight into the well. Oh, Nonna's favourite way.
Adesso sbatto l'uovo un pochino così.
And then bring it all together.
Io adesso metto la farina.
And you add your flour. Of course, if you need a little bit more, we can then add. We'll see how we go. So as you're kind of bringing it all together, collect as much of that excess flour as you can and fold it back through. Even if it looks, see how you can see through here, it kind of looks like just a crumble, just through here and all these pieces like that. Don't worry, add them all back in and you'll be able to bring it all together. So see how if I go like this, oh my gosh, Nonna, hai fatto veloce. She did this so fast. So to get to this point, see how there's nothing sticky at all? That's the point you have to get to, and you know you're in a good position to kind of keep kneading. That's the perfect texture there. So as you get to this point, keep kneading.
Poi si mette qua sotto così un pochino.
Because it's really important not to overwork the dough. So you have to understand that once you get to this point, you can keep going and just sprinkle just a small amount of flour there to help you kind of work the dough nicely. As long as it's not sticky and it's not super soft, you're on the right track.
Adesso iniziamo a allungare i gnocchi.
All right, so it's time. Look how smooth. That's what I want to show you. Look at that. So that is how it should look like inside. It's tiny, tiny bit sticky, but nothing will be like on your finger if you sort of press in there. Roll out our gnocchi. So both hands, a nice, like a good sized piece you can kind of get. To be honest, you can even make it a little bit smaller. These will come quite long. and it works out. You make them a lot quicker if you have a larger piece, but clearly, look how much longer I take than Nonna does to roll it out.
Ci metto un pochino di farina.
So coat a tray with some flour in preparation for us cutting them up, and so we can place it on top. All right, siamo pronti? Ready to cut?
Posso?
Sì, sì. So see how Nonna cuts sort of on an angle there? But they're so beautiful. They come out like these little pillows, and each two look the same to me. So I feel like they always look exactly the same. You can cut up more than one strand at a time to be a little quicker. And watch how fast she goes now.
Puoi dire, se uno vuole fare anticipato e dopo questo li puoi pure congelare, li devi mettere un po' così che non si attacca. Zettine lo buttiamo dentro per farci il sugo pure con questo. Ecco qua. Adesso metto l'olio di olivo della nostra terra.
Exactly. Beautiful, fresh, extra virgin olive oil. Local to Abruzzo. Sempre ingredienti freschi, vero Nonna?
Ecco. Adesso ho messo questi ingredienti, adesso lo facciamo soffriggere poco a poco, un pochino che si riscalda l'olio. Adesso mettiamo il sugo, il pomodoro fatto da noi.
Wow, so you only saute the carrot and onion for really a small amount of time. And once it really starts to infuse and you'll smell that onion, it's quite strong, then you add your sauce.
Adesso io metto un pezzo di sedano che gli dà il sapore.
Extra flavor with that celery, yum.
Sale.
Nonna puts a generous amount of rock salt and then a nice stir with a wooden spoon. E per quanto tempo cucini poi il sugo? Più o meno?
Secondo, se n'è tanto 2 ore, di meno, questa è una mezz'oretta. Questo inizia a bollire. Quando si vede che io adesso lo metto un po' alto e lo faccio bollire veloce, poi lo metto basso, che il sugo, che l'olio risale sopra, e quando vedi che l'olio è risalito sopra è cotto il sugo.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Ecco il sugo, dopo mezz'ora è pronto, eccolo qua.
Wow, so it reduces quite a lot.
E adesso ci inseriamo un po' di basilico che gli dà ancora un po' di profumo.
You always add the basil at the end. You never cook it through, otherwise it just burns and I guess disintegrates really. Whereas if you add it at this point, it infuses the sauce beautifully. You can smell it straight away, and that beautiful aroma stays the whole time then. Yummy. Bellissima, buonissima.
Che buono, il sugo della nonna.
Buonissima. So once the water's boiling, add some rock salt, let it dissolve, and then you add your gnocchi. Okay, so because you're using a fresh pasta dough, sometimes they can stick a little bit to the bottom, so just use even a wooden spoon is fine. Mix it around, make sure nothing's stuck,
Ecco qua, adesso
and
mettiamo
you
il
leave it
coperchio.
with the lid on
Facciamo ribollire.
to boil again. As the gnocchi start to rise, they're pretty much cooked, and you can start to drain them. Strain them, drain them, strain them.
Adesso è pronto, 2-3 minuti si fa bollire perché le patate erano già cucinate, adesso quando si è fatto un po' con la farina, buono così, sono buoni, se no dopo diventa troppo duri. Ecco.
Okay, Nonna, siamo pronti?
Prontissimo.
All right, so our gnocchi are ready. We've got some freshly grated parmigiano cheese. Grab yourself a bowl, your beautiful hot sugo, and we get started. All right, so get a ladle, scoop up some sauce, layer that onto the bottom of your bowl here.
Io prendo questo, si fa scolare bene bene.
All that water out into your bowl. Wow. Oh my gosh, so good. Yum, yum.
Ecco qua, metto il sugo.
Vado ancora. Mix it all together. Oh my gosh, if you could smell this. YouTube really needs to invent like the smell, virtual smell. Because this kitchen, oh my gosh.
Metto questo.
Okay, so some parmigiano. Oh my gosh, so good. Clearly gnocchi are my favourite dish. Yeah, so leave a little bit of that sauce. Nonna's right. Leave a little bit of sauce for when you're serving your individual plates so you can sort of put something extra on top.
Io metto questo. È pronto.
Yum! My favourite, Nonna. Il mio
Pronto e
preferito.
servito. There you go.
But I want some more cheese on mine.
Another recipe I love and you must eat is the eggplant parmigiana. I believe this dish is underrated. It's not easy to find in restaurants. It's beautiful, it's a classic. You never go wrong with eggplant parmigiana. This is my version. This is nice and thick, full of flavors, and this is how you make it. This is eggplant parmigiana. It's in my top 3 favorite dishes. It's my mom's recipe who was given to her by my grandmother. The ingredients I'm using today will make an eggplant parmigiana that will fit perfectly in this Pyrex. This Pyrex is 7.5 by 11 inches. I like my eggplant parmigiana to be deep, so use a deep dish. We have 2 kilos of eggplants, usually about 5 medium-sized eggplants, half onion, 1 carrot, 3 small tins of Italian peeled tomatoes, 500 grams of fresh mozzarella, pecorino cheese, a nice amount of fresh basil, flour that we need to coat the eggplants, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and sunflower oil to fry the eggplants. So what you do now, you put the eggplant in there and you put salt. You get baking paper. You put it on top of the eggplants. And then you put something heavy, something very heavy on top. Something very, very heavy. Put some pressure on and the water should come out. You should see water coming out. About 5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Let's put it in there. Put the onion and the carrots in a small blender. Now we quickly blend everything together. Come and see inside. See, this is what you get. See, it's creamy. I think I can make it creamier. So what we do, we add more extra virgin olive oil and just a splash of water. Now we finish it. Our soffritto is ready. Now look at this. And blend gently the peeled tomatoes. Great, done. And this is how you make a passata. See? Put the stove on a medium-low heat, not too high. We already added the extra virgin olive oil in here. There's plenty. Okay, so we just put the soffritto right in there. Now stir. Maybe it needs a little bit of water. The reason why is because I don't want this to burn. Okay. So add a little bit of water. So now our soffritto can cook. We're going to cook the soffritto for about 10 minutes on a low heat. So guys, the soffritto is ready. See, it's telling me, come on, I need the sauce. We're getting thirsty, see? So maybe now it doesn't look as right, but we mix it. And we are gonna give the sauce a lighter color. So don't expect this sauce to be dark red. It's gonna be a probably light red sauce. I'll stir it very well. All the ingredients make love together. Now we cover it. What we do now is nothing. We just let this cook at low heat for 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes and the sauce is ready. So switch off. Now we're gonna add the salt. I would say half tablespoon, but up to you. Not to put much. Because we're gonna add salt, we're gonna put cheese and all the ingredients in the parmigiana. I like to be generous with the pepper. And now the basil. Now with the basil, please do not chop the basil. Never do that. Always use your hands and break the basil like that. Now before we fry the eggplants, because you need to fry it, you can bake the eggplants, but I think the flavors of fried eggplants is so much better. So if I do this dish, I fry my eggplants. This is what you do. You get a slice and you just cover it with flour, okay? Because the eggplant is wet, it will get covered by the flour very easily. All right, guys, let's start frying the eggplants. Just be careful, okay? Let's start with the little one. The hot might be too high, too hot, but I'm gonna start with the little one, gently. See? This is an aggressive oil. It's brown. See, that's a nice color that you want to give your slice of eggplant. So now they can rest. It is important now to cover the layers with kitchen paper so they absorb the oil. This is the moment we've been waiting for, the assembling part. Okay, so what we do first, we get this beautiful sauce. Look at that, look how nice it is. Nice, rich and thick. And we put some at the bottom. Now spread it. Now we put a slice of eggplant. Now we don't want gaps here, okay? So that's facing this way. Now we put it there so we don't have a gap. Then we're gonna put one here. Then I'm gonna get a little one here. Use the skinny ones to fill up these gaps here. See this type of gaps? That's what you use the little ones for. Use this one here. Perfect. Now we do the other layer. Lots of layers for this one, guys. A lot of layers. We want to completely cover this with sauce. We need to add some fresh basil. Extra flavors. Now we're going to put some pecorino cheese. Pecorino is life. Last but not least, the mozzarella. You want to spread it. Every slice needs to have a nice amount of fresh mozzarella. And now we go again. Eggplants. Make sure you cover. There's no gap there. That's a big slice that we put here. Now this is what I did here, okay? I've got these gaps here I don't like, so I add a little bit more on both sides here, and now we press. Gently press, because I want to do lots of layers. So by pressing, you will create more space for more layers. So let's go with another layer now. Yeah, this has to be the pretty one. So we actually want to see the slices on this one here, okay? So I present them a little bit different. So press. And now it's time to do the top layers. And this is what we're gonna do. We are just putting the sauce, nothing else. Trust me on this. We just put the sauce, a generous amount of sauce. No cheese, no basil, nothing. Actually, the basil is already in the sauce. So this is what we're doing. Covering this properly. See, look how perfect it is. I use 3 small tins of peeled tomatoes, and it's just perfect for this dish. Get our foil, gently cover the top. That's why we don't want cheese, we only want the sauce. We cover it, gently, don't press. We want to cook this at 180 Celsius for 40 minutes. But 30 minutes covered. So this is going to be covered for 30 minutes. So everything will make love together, cooking gentle, the cheese will melt. And then the last 10 minutes, uncovered. This is my wife, Suzanne. She's an eggplant lover, and the reason why I make a very good eggplant parmigiana. She's also the reason why I eat pecorino all the time.
It's true.
Yeah, because
I could just eat it like this. I mean, what else do you need?
Now, this is what we need to do. If you look at this, it's been half an hour, and this beautiful eggplant parmigiana is ready. Well, no, it can't be ready, Suzanne.
No.
We need to put some pecorino, so you do that.
Okay, just sprinkle lots?
Yes. I used to eat parmigiana all the time. Since I married you, I've been eating only pecorino.
It's pretty delicious. Well, you don't need salt this way, you just need cheese.
And what we do now, we put it back in the oven for 10 minutes, so the cheese will melt, it will give the extra flavor. cut like this. Now, it's the moment we've been waiting for. Let's see, stringy cheese. Ooh,
Yum.
yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Is there enough pecorino, enough cheese?
Well, there is, I promise. But I think I better have one more bite, just to make sure.
I made the eggplants very crispy.
I have to say, when you were frying the eggplants, I thought you were frying them too much. I'll admit it. But they're just perfect.
Eggplant parmigiana is from the south, so I want to stay in the south of Italy, and I want to introduce you to panuozzo, the Neapolitan panino. This panuozzo is made by using leftover pizza dough balls. That's right. You can take your panino to the next level. My friend Lucio shared this recipe, and you must try this. Oh, this is the panuozzo napoletano.
To make panuozzo napoletano, we need 300 ml of water, 500 grams of double zero flour, 15 grams of sea salt, and 2 grams of fresh yeast.
Can we use dry yeast?
Yes, you can definitely can. We always start to dissolve the salt first. We add a little bit of flour. At this stage, we add the yeast. We let it dissolve. But as we add more flour, we're gonna see that the consistency will change slowly. So with this recipe, we're able to do probably 3 big panuozzo. We're gonna make a pizza bowl out of it around 250 grams. And we're gonna achieve 3 panuozzo sandwich. So we let it rest with a damp cloth.
Okay.
And in 2 hours, we make the pizza bowl.
The pizza bowl.
So we uncover the dough. We start to cut the dough long way, like it's in a salami shape. And we start to make the bowl. So to make the bowl, it's exactly the same how we would make a pizza bowl. Yeah. We roll it. We make sure that the closure underneath is well closed. Once you make the pizza bowl, you put it in a container. Has to be airtight, and you let it rest at room temperature for around 20-22 hours. There we go. We put a little bit on the flour, and then we shape it. Always nice and gentle. You see, the dough is always nice and soft. And then we drizzle a little bit with olive oil. A little bit of oregano. And now it's ready to put it in the oven. So at this stage, once we shape the panuozzo, what we do, we bake in a wood fire oven, nice and hot. It's around 430 degrees. We let it puff up, and then once the dough is puffed up, we pull it out of the oven, we cut it, and we fill it. The second baking, we put it right in front of the oven where the temperature is very much lower. Yeah, so you can also cook the panuozzo in electric oven, and I will show you how to do it. So we take the pizza shovel, we put the panuozzo on top of it, and we bake it in the oven. Yeah. There we go, guys. This is the first look. Yeah. Today we're gonna have 3 types of panuozzo. So let's start to filling the first panuozzo. We're gonna add some cheese.
Da provolone.
That's provolone.
Provola.
Yep. And then we had a bit of some friarielli, which I love
If
them.
you can't get friarelli, you just use
Broccoli rape.
broccoli rape.
Yeah, broccoli rape. They're very nice.
You can use
I love
broccolini
broccoli.
if you don't find this.
You can use broccolini, yeah. And then we're gonna add a bit of sausage. Now, guys, sausage you can cut it in any shape you like. You can even put the sausage once it's cooked. You cut it in half, the sausage. And then you know what? Let's add a bit of parmesan and so. What do you reckon? Yeah?
Bellissimo.
And maybe a little bit of olive oil. First one done. We just need to bake it in the oven, make sure the cheese is melted, close it up, cut it.
You're gonna you close it after it's melted.
After, now we're gonna put it in the oven as it is. So the second one we're gonna do with mozzarella, fresh rocket, prosciutto, and cherry tomato. However, what we're gonna do, here we're gonna have 2 stages. All we're gonna add at this stage is just the mozzarella and a few cherry tomatoes around. We let the mozzarella melt. Once the mozzarella is melt, and then that's when we add the fresh rocket on top, the prosciutto on top, and the sandwich is ready. Drizzle of olive oil.
Nice.
The last one, which is the mozzarella and pancetta. Again, guys, use your own fantasy, eh? This is the beauty of this sandwich. We let it melt, and then we add the pancetta in it. I like after, because the heat of the pancetta, you know, the heat. Sorry, the heat.
This is a sliced pancetta.
This
like
is very like a prosciutto, very thin sliced pancetta. You can use this one. You can use even the round one.
You can cook it if you want.
You can cook it if you want, but I like it to put it after. The heat of the panuozzo, it will cook the pancetta through. There we go, guys. So this one is baked in electric oven. Let's fill with, again, we do salsicce e friarielli, and we can compare the one cooked in electric oven and a wood fire oven. Put some friarielli at the top. Little sausage. Little parmesan. And again, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Adesso si mangia. Okay, Enzo, so the first panuozzo, we're gonna cook the salsicce e friarielli. Again, we're gonna rebake in a wood fire oven. However, we have to make sure that the second stage, we're gonna put the panuozzo right here, yeah? Not all the way in, because all the way in probably the temperature is a little bit too hot. So we want to make sure that the panuozzo is right at the front of the oven. We want to make sure that the cheese is well melted. Electric oven, so basically the second stage, put the electric oven on a grill mode. Leave the panuozzo open as like a butterfly. Leave the panuozzo open. Let the ingredients melt. Once the cheese is melted, close it up. Leave it, let it cook for another few minutes until it's golden brown at the top. We put the calzone a bocca di forno here, and we start to cook it slowly. Yeah, we can see that slowly the cheese it will melt, and we need to cook all around it. We need to make sure the cheese is melted. We need to make sure that the edge is nice and crunchy, crispy. This will take around A few minutes, yeah, probably
If I put
for.
this in the oven now, I burn everything, right?
It will burn everything, and you know, you don't get the right consistency. You really want to make sure that every single part of the panuozzo is nice, hot. The friarielli, they're nice and hot. The cheese will melt because it's very thin sliced, you know.
It's melting very fast.
Yeah. Guys, we're gonna put these in the oven, in electric domestic oven, under the grill for, let's say, 5 minutes. Okay, guys, so at this stage, what we do, we're gonna close the panuozzo. We're gonna give it a nice, gentle press down, and we let it cook a little bit more. Yeah. The last 10 seconds, I'm gonna put it inside for a nice golden brown color. It's ready. The saltimbocca, the cheese is melted. It's ready to go. We just need a little bit of a color. As you can see, we're getting the color. Yeah. You see? And so this before was white, like this sort of color. Now it's getting a golden brown color.
The cheese is melting.
And the cheese is melted already.
Yeah.
So all we are achieving here, the golden brown color. Yeah. You see, Enzo?
Bellissimo. Yeah.
You see, Enzo? This is the color that we want to achieve.
Yes.
Nice golden brown color, crispy.
So you achieved what you wanted to achieve.
All right, so at this stage, we're gonna close it up. Yeah, give it a little bit of a color at the top. And let's leave it there for another 2 minutes. Okay guys, this is exactly what I was looking for. As you can see, the color is completely different. Here we're gonna get a nice golden brown color. Here is halfway cooked. The crunchiness, can you hear the crunchiness? Yeah, and when we open, we should be able to see all the cheese that is melted inside. And the smell, beautiful. Oh my God, then so, mamma guarda. So what we got here? We got the panuozzo con mozzarella, cherry tomato, rucola e prosciutto crudo. So what we're trying to achieve here, we just need to melt the mozzarella. Once the mozzarella is melted, that's when we're gonna add the fresh rocket and the prosciutto on top. Okay, yeah. So let's start melting the mozzarella, and then this one, same thing, but with pancetta. All right, so we're gonna leave it there for a few minutes. All right, let's go and open the oven here. There we go, guys. Yeah.
Looks nice, Lucio.
It looks nice.
I mean, it's not a wood
Obviously,
fire oven,
it's not a wood fire oven, but you know, for those people that they don't have a wood fire oven at home, they can still achieve. Let me take this out because it's really hot.
The crunchiness. Yeah, it's there. The crunchiness is there.
Let's see the cheese. The
melted cheese is there. Bellissimo.
All right. So if you do have a party home, you can still achieve a panuozzo saltimbocca. Or
this is nice to serve nice and warm. But
it's nice to serve nice and warm. The second one ready, and we place it here. So we got the father of salsicce friarielli and the son.
The son? Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh wow, Lucio!
Ah.
Wow, man.
And what we do? Can I put the pancetta in?
Please. What is that now?
That's pancetta, and so nice and abundante. Let's not be shy on the pancetta.
Oh no. Abbondanza. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And then the second one.
Crunchy. Listen to the crunch. Pasta crunch taste. The second one, open it again.
Which one is this one? This is rocket and prosciutto. Can I put some rocket on top of it?
Arugula.
Arugula. Yeah. And then we're gonna put a few slices of prosciutto. I'm gonna close it.
Now.
And now we got the salsicce friarielli already.
You excited, Lucia?
I'm very excited. Adesso si mangia sul serio.
I like the crunchiness. Number 6 is pasta alla zozzona, Rome's best kept secret. Imagine of a carbonara that accepts tomato sauce. It's a zozzona, it's a dirty, filthy pasta, but it's full of flavors, it's a bomb. It's so good. It's something you must try in your life. Pasta alla zozzona, this is how you make it. This is pasta alla zozzona, the filthy pasta from Rome. To make pasta alla zozzona, we need rigatoni pasta. Why? Because you want the sausage, the guanciale, the peeled tomatoes to go in there. 3 eggs. So every 100 grams of pasta, 1 egg. 1 thick Italian sausage, about 150 grams of guanciale, the pig cheek, half onion chopped into small pieces, 2 small cans of peeled tomatoes. So every can is like 400 grams. You need 2 of them. Pecorino romano, you know, like a good carbonara needs pecorino romano, and this is the cousin of carbonara. About 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, some nice fresh basil, salt and pepper. And now we're ready to cook. All right, here we have a beautiful fry pan. We want to cook this gently. We are on a medium or low heat. We're gonna put 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and then we're gonna add the onion. And then gently we want to cook the onion, saute the onion for at least 7 minutes. Now it's time for the guanciale. We're gonna put the guanciale first. See now the guanciale release the oil. It's cooking, it's becoming crispy, but at this point I want to add the sausage. We put the sausage in quickly. What I prefer to do is to add a little bit more extra virgin olive oil to help the sausage. Now at this point the sausages are ready because they are gray, almost brown, okay? And I want to be very generous with the sauce. That's why I've used 2 cans of peeled tomatoes. And from this moment, okay, we want to cook this together for about 30 minutes, at least on a medium-low heat, 30 minutes. Look how beautiful this sauce looks after 15 minutes. Now we're gonna get some salt, let's be generous, and pepper, as much as you like. Now here we have boiling water, a nice large pot of boiling water. We're gonna add a tablespoon, a generous tablespoon of sea salt right in there, beautiful. And now we can add the rigatoni. The rigatoni pasta takes 13 minutes to be ready, to be al dente, and we're gonna boil them for 13 minutes. Now when you put the pasta in the pot, always stir it. 2 egg yolks, 3 egg yolks. So don't forget, it's 1 egg yolk for every 100 grams of pasta. And now we're just gonna mix the eggs first, beat the eggs first. And now is the magic moment, the pecorino moment, the pecorino romano. We're gonna add about 4 tablespoons, okay? 4 generous tablespoons. I know it sounds a lot. If it's too much for you, maybe you can mix parmigiano and pecorino. Parmigiano is more delicate, or use less cheese. But for me, the cheese here is very important to get the cream that we want, okay? So, it's very nice and thick. Let's put some black pepper. We want to have some black pepper going in it to make a more carbonara look. Okay, it's very, very, very thick, which is good, which is what we want to achieve. Because now I'm gonna add the pasta water in here to make it runny. I collected some pasta water, and this is very important to combine our ingredients. So I'll put it there, not too much, a little bit at a time to see how much you need. Also the heat of the pasta water will kind of cook the eggs. You see what's happening here? Can you see? We do want this mix to be runny because this is going over the sauce and it should combine well with the sauce. So this is actually very, very good. All right, the pasta is ready. A beautiful rigatoni, look at that. Oh, hello babies. Now before we put the pasta in, let's break up basil by hand and we put it in there. Mix it well. There we go, one. Beautiful. I love rigatoni. Let's quickly combine the ingredients with a spoon. Now we're gonna put the cheese. Beautiful. Now the moment we've been waiting for, the carbonara mix. A runny carbonara mix. Just put it everywhere. Just like that. Quickly toss so we have the eggs mixing with all our ingredients. Yeah, so good. I'm going to eat it now. Because we're in Rome, I'm going to introduce you to another Roman dish, but made in a different way. One of my proudest creations. Something I can't even believe I created. One of the proudest moments in the kitchen for me was when I created the ravioli carbonara. You are gonna love this. A bomb. Oh yeah. Every single raviolo, it's a bomb of happiness, but it's a must try. This is how you make it from scratch. This is madness in a plate. This is ravioli carbonara, done the most authentic way. For the ravioli dough, we need 500 grams of 00 flour. You can also use plain flour, and 5 eggs. So every egg, 100 grams of flour. That's why I'm doing 500 grams of flour, 5 eggs. For the filling, we need 400 grams of guanciale. For the filling, we need 6 eggs. We're gonna use 5 egg yolks and 1 entire egg. Then we need about 200 grams of pecorino cheese. Make sure it's finely grated, please. Black pepper. Now we're going to make the dough with our hands. This is the best part, the fun part. Here we get the flour and put it on the bench. So what we do now, we get our hands like this, and we go all the way in. Ready? Woo! We go in and we do a well. Now I'm gonna break the eggs in here just in case we get some shells that we don't want. We don't want the shells in the pasta dough, okay? Can you see there's no shells in there? We're gonna put the eggs straight in the well. Now you can use a fork to mix it, but I'm gonna use my hands, okay? I quickly wash my hands. Some people like to put salt. I do not put salt in my pasta dough. Now, a little bit at a time, I'm gonna add flour in there so we can make this creamy, a little bit creamy. See, it's a fun process. I'm only using one hand for this process, okay? A bit gentle because we do not want the eggs to escape from the well, okay? See, it's getting to the right consistency. I'm gonna use a scraper now. Okay, here's a scraper, perfect. Now I'm gonna start using my hands, both of them. And you start folding like that, okay? And then what we do now, we turn it like this. So it's a long log. We do the same. It's easy, guys. You just need to take your time and put love into it. Now, I have big hands, a bit strong, so I'm using my fingers, but you're actually meant to use the palm of your hands. So you go like this. Press, fold back. Press, fold back. Can you see how the flour has been slowly getting absorbed? Of course, the dough is also now more firm, gets firmer and firmer. When you know that you're done, you do a little bit of this to your dough. See, your dough is nice and ready. Now pretend you're making a pizza bowl, okay? When you make a pizza bowl, you do this, and basically this is how you test if your dough is nice and smooth. See, the surface is smooth. We need to make sure our dough doesn't dry up. So you need to get plastic wrap, okay? With a glad wrap. We're going to put it all around it. Because the last thing we want to do is to see this pasta dough to get ruined. Now you can keep this in the fridge for about 15, maximum 20 minutes, no more. Beautiful pan. Now we gently want to cook this guanciale, okay? It's been about 5 minutes. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get the guanciale out and we're going to put it on the chopping board. Guys, the oil stays in the pan, okay? Make sure you drain it. Keep the oil in there because the oil will be the sauce for our ravioli. Let's do that. The white goes away. Here's the yolk. Now let's concentrate on the filling. So we need to really whisk very well these 5 egg yolks. I'm gonna put the pepper from now. I'm gonna add the pecorino cheese. Grated, finely grated pecorino cheese. Just keep in mind, we need to keep about 50 grams for the end. What you meant to achieve here, you meant to achieve a nice thick cream, which is the filling for a ravioli. Looks like a gelato, but it's not thick enough. So this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna add beautiful guanciale in there. We keep about this much to decorate the final plate. Just a little bit for decoration, not too much. See, now I'm mixing this and the guanciale will help us to get an even thick. See, I do want this slightly thicker. So let me put a little bit more pecorino, guys. Just I want to put a little bit more, just because I do want this to be slightly thicker. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I start by cutting a little bit of the dough. Let's say about 130 grams of dough to make a sheet of ravioli, okay? Now, this is a small one, we just do as a test. What I like to do is to make it a little bit flat. Let's put a little bit of flour, okay? Just a little bit of flour on this side and a little bit of flour on this side. Also, we want to put some flour on the pasta machine. So on the pasta machine, we want to start from the wider setting. It has to be the widest one, okay? So we put this through. Easy. Now we're going to do this a few more times. Fold, fold again. We're going to put this through at least 5 times. Fold it just once. Through again. So we keep going like that. And because, see, it's also good that the dough actually doesn't stick to the machine, which is great. Okay, it's better now. See, we got this. Now that we have this shape, let's move to the second setting. In this machine is number 2. So we're going tighter, not tight. See, didn't stretch much. Put a little bit of flour on the machine, always keep it not sticky. Now we go on number 3, make it more tight. See, it's stretching a little bit longer. Now we go on number 4. See how it's stretching more, see? Now you will see, now we go on number 5, and you will see how much it's going to stretch now. Ready? Beautiful. Now, I'll do the last setting for me, is number 6. Basically, you don't want to make spaghetti or tagliatelle, you don't want to thin, very thin, because otherwise the ravioli will break, and we do not want the ravioli to break. So we want this to be not too thin. See, when I can see my fingers, I think I can say, yeah, it's ready. It's not too thin, not too thick. So here I have a beautiful dough, which we're going to make it flat a little bit. Some flour on, not too much, make it flat. Okay, so here we got the white setting now. Oh, very long. Gonna fold it again, Now we put it in this way, not a long way, this way. Flatten it so it fits in the pasta machine. The reason why we do this a few times, about 5 times at least, is because we need to get hair out of the dough. Here we go. Perfect, see? That's nice. Now we're gonna go down to number 2. So we'll stretch more and more. See how much is stretched already? Now we go to number 3. Beautiful. Number 4. Now we go on number 5. Your pasta machine might have different numbers. Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. So you can see my fingers, which is a good sign. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna use 2 spoons to create the perfect filling. We're gonna put a little bit here. Now you remember what I said before? We kept the egg whites. Here, this is when we use the egg white. This to be more professional, but you can just use your fingers. Just put it there, on this side like that. You can also use water if you don't want to use egg white. So don't stress if you don't have egg whites anymore. Just use water and it will do the job. Now this is how my Nonna does it. Okay, we're gonna get one side with the ravioli, start from here, and we fold it. Okay, we're not putting the dough on top. We're just folding it like this, doing like a half moon shape, if you know what I mean. So before we do anything, make sure you connect both sides. You don't want gaps. Make sure you connect it right there. And here we go, see? So the egg are already sealed. Now what we want to do, we want to make sure we get air out of it. So with the fingers, gonna go like this, just like this, just like that. You know, like a tablespoon room in between. So go like this first, so the egg goes out from the front, and then you press at the front too, okay? Just like that. And again, we do it. We need to get the hair out, otherwise the ravioli will explode when you cook them. For ravioli, you do this. If you don't have it, just use a normal knife, but if you have this, it helps. So we're gonna cut the ravioli into like half moon, okay? So you go like this. Try to use as much dough as you can, okay? Remove the extra excess, which you might be able to use it later on. And here are the ravioli. Now, the ravioli might be sealed to you, but maybe they're not sealed. So what we're gonna do, just in case, just to make sure they're sealed properly, we get a fork and we press. This is what my Nonna always does. We just press, okay? Just press on the sides, just to be extra careful, guys, okay? Now I'm gonna cook some ravioli, and they have to cook for a maximum of 90 seconds. 8, 9. Guys, they are cooking beautifully. What we're looking at here as well is to make sure they don't open. So I have to say we did seal them very well. There's no opening, so the cream is not coming out. We have 30 more seconds. I'm gonna add them now in the oil. The beautiful guanciale oil. Yeah, look at that, guys. We're gonna add some pecorino cheese, which we don't want this to go clumpy, okay? So we want this to make this a little bit creamy. Here we have beautiful pecorino cheese that we need to put on top. And now we're gonna put some guanciale right on top. Oh, bellissimo. Look at that. You want it creamy? You want of course, you want the eggs to cook, but you want them to stay creamy. You don't want them to become a frittata. And now it's time to eat it. Number 8 is the Neapolitan pizza dough. And proudly I can say I have the best Neapolitan pizza dough recipe on YouTube, online. My friend Johnny won an award as World Best Pizza Chef back in 2014, shared the recipe with you. He's an amazing Neapolitan pizza chef, very respected in the industry, and you can make pizza just as good as him. So watch his video to become a pizza master. Today, the master of pizza is going to show us how to make pizza napoletana, Napolitan pizza dough from scratch.
So, really simple. This recipe is 600 mils of water, 1 kilo of flour, 30 grams of salt, and around about 1 to 2 grams of yeast. So, what do we do first? We start off with the water. Very important. We always start off with the water. We then add the salt. add the salt. And at this point, what we do is we need to dissolve. Now, really important, and something that we don't want to do is contaminate the yeast with the salt. So what we do is we separate it, and the way we do that is by adding at least 10% of the flour into the bowl. So what we're doing is frankly just diluting. It's quite simple, right? So what we do is we open up the flour pack, and what we do is we add around about 10%. Now, a lot of people say, oh, how am I going to measure 10%? Well, you can actually either weigh it or just have a consistency of, like, let's say a crepe or pancake mix, right?
So basically one packet.
Yeah, one packet, exactly.
So if you put more than 10%, it's still okay?
It's still okay, yeah, not a big deal. So around about this, we get it to this consistency. We then get the yeast. As we can see, very little yeast.
Oh, wow.
And what we do is we place the yeast directly into the mix.
Is that fresh yeast?
Fresh yeast, yep. So this will dissolve in a matter of seconds. There we go, all gone. A lot of people, what they do is they dilute the yeast in water. We don't need to do that. Just drop it straight into the mix, right? We want to retain as much strength of that yeast as possible.
So
now,
creamy.
Yes, there we go. We have a nice cream paste there. Now, once we've achieved this, what we then do is we'll proceed to add the remaining of the flour. Now, only a little bit at a time, okay? Because you want the flour to absorb all that water. So a little bit at a time, we add, we keep mixing. I'm trying to keep my bowl really clean along the perimeter. So that way, I don't have any flour stuck there or any unused flour. We want to use up all of it. So always mixing along the sides and just folding into the dough.
So for people at home who want to use a stand mixer, do you recommend it?
Yeah, so if you want to use a mixer at home, really simple, right? What I always tell people is start off the whole process in the mixer. Like if you've got one of those, I don't know, like a KitchenAid or a Smeg mix or something, right? Start it off in the mixer, but then what I normally do is once it's combined, I then turn it onto a bench and I like finishing it off by hand. Only using one hand. We don't want to use two hands at the moment, because I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually turn this onto the bench so then I can get some real pressure into it with two hands. Okay, now as we can see, the dough has formed, which is great, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this onto the table. And this is where the work begins. So what we want to do is now with two of our hands, we're mixing always into the flour. As you can see, I'm pushing in and then I'm turning over. Now there's a few different ways that you can mix the dough, okay? This is one way, so two hands just turning. Okay, so we're just aerating and turning that dough. The other way is we can also push down, and then when it comes to a nice long piece, I then turn over again. Okay, as you can see, I'm picking up all the flour off the bench, and I won't add any more flour until I see that all the flour on the bench has been absorbed. You know, Vincenzo, we allow our dough to rise for at least 24 hours. A couple of different ways. We can either make our dough into a nice ball, we press down. If it pops back up, that generally tells you that the dough is ready. Although, the best way to tell whether the dough is ready or not is by getting a thermometer, placing it into the core of the dough, and if you're between 23 and 26 degrees, you're ready to set aside. This is what I'm talking about when you actually know that your dough is correct. Sorry, Vincenzo. I'm right. And now what we need to do is we need to place our dough aside to rest. But what we need to do is cover it with a damp cloth, because it's really important that we keep the dough hydrated. If I leave it uncovered, what will happen? It will form a skin over the top. We want to keep it hydrated, so we're going to cover it with a damp cloth. Okay, after 2 hours of allowing the dough to rest on the bench, we then come back to it, and what we do is we make our dough portions. Now, remember guys, it's extremely important to allow your dough to rest for at least 2 hours before you go off and cut your dough into dough portions, okay? So we've now kept it for 2 hours. We're going to now proceed to making our dough balls. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do, okay? So first, what you can do is you can place them into a tightly sealed container and let them rest overnight in an ambient temperature. I prefer that. I prefer not using refrigeration. It's really important that if you get that technique perfect, you're gonna make always the best pizza that you've ever had. Now, if you do want to use refrigeration, here's a bit of a tip. When you've got them put into your sealed container, or your tightly sealed container in dough portions, what you need to do is you need to allow the dough to rise nearly double in size. So you will then place that into the fridge. The reason why we do that is the yeast becomes dormant, okay? But what doesn't stop is the maturity of the dough, which is extremely important. Now, we can't put an undeveloped dough in the fridge because your dough will continue to mature, but it will not rise correctly, okay? So if you keep it out into an ambient temperature, just bear in mind at a temperature of anywhere between 16 and 18 degrees. You'll have a perfect rise time over 24 hours, but you'll also have the yeast work extremely well, and your dough will also mature at the same time. This is the secret. You need those two processes to work at the same time. I've also got a little tip and trick for those of you who have never made dough ball before. I'm going to show you how you can learn on the spot. So normally what we do is we make our dough balls anywhere between 220 and 250 grams to make Neapolitan pizza. Okay, a couple of different ways on how to make a dough ball, right? So first one, you know, traditionally you'll see a lot of bakers, pizza makers, they round the ball on the bench like this, and we have a dough ball. Another technique, and this is a technique that I've been using since I was a kid. One hand guides, the other folds. So always using our 3 fingers, one hand guides, and I fold into the other 3 fingers like that. Now, once you can see a nice smooth surface coming over the top and coming up through your thumbs, what we do then is we place our hand like you've got an ice cream cone or a cone in your hand, and we rub together. We then close the bottom and we have another dough ball. Now, a third technique that you can use is this. We place the dough in our hand and we turn and we come up through our thumb and our fingers, we crimp there and we make another dough ball. Now, most of you have probably seen that technique done whilst people are making buffalo mozzarella. So if you've ever seen that done, that's the way they make buffalo mozzarella, but it's also a good trick and tip that you can make dough balls with. Okay, now the tip and trick for those of you who've never made a pizza ball, really simple. What you do is you cut your dough into a portion and you keep it in front of you. And what you do is the part closest to your body, you fold away. So I pick it up and I fold away. What I then do is I turn the folded part and it faces the ceiling. And again, the part closest to my body, I pick that up. I fold over again. We then repeat this about 4 or 5 times, always with the seam facing the ceiling. Again, fold over and again, and one more time, fold over. At this point, once I fold it right over, keeping a nice smooth surface there, what I do is with my thumb and my fingers, I push down on either end, I pick it up, I tuck under, turn it upside down, crimp the bottom, and guess what? We have another dough ball.
Oh my God, it looks like a burrata.
There you go. Okay, after 24 hours, the result is a nicely risen dough, okay? Now, if it's made correctly, you'll have a nice bounce in the dough. The structure is very well maintained. And from here, what we do is we need to go and stretch our pizza to make our pizza napoletana. Put a little bit of flour on the bench so it doesn't stick, guys. So first step, we start 1 inch in from the bottom and we work our way to 1 inch from the top. So using our fingers, 1 inch in, we press down and we stop. We then place our dough ball the opposite way, 1 inch in again, we press down and we stop. Again, one more time, 1 inch in from the bottom, we press down and we stop. So we place our hand, so our right hand 1 inch in again, not on the cornicione, but 1 inch in. With our other hand, what we do is we crimp. So with these 3 fingers on the bottom, these 2 fingers, one over that finger and one over the small finger. And what we're going to do is we're going to stretch. Then what we do is we come over to our forearm and hold it there. Hold it at your forearm and then flip back over. When you get faster, this is the technique that you will eventually end up learning how to do. The reason why I ask you to do it that way is so that it becomes a muscle memory. Because when you're doing it faster, what you're doing is you're actually flipping or you're flicking the dough to your forearm. So by you pretty much memorizing that technique, stretch over back, stretch over back, what happens is it becomes a natural movement.
What a privilege to be here with you today. Oh, what a privilege. Now we can make the best pizza. Johnny, where are we going?
We're gonna go make some pizza, Vincenzo! As you can see, one part of the pizza is cooking. Now, very important, a lot of people make the biggest mistake is they get the pizza or they go like that. The best way is from the side. And also, when you want to turn your pizza, you always bring it out. You then turn it here in front and you place it back where you're cooking. Never turn the pizza inside the oven, because what you're doing is you're picking up any ash. You want to reduce as much ash as possible. So keep the pizza nice and clean on the bottom. The other thing is, you can see I'm not lifting my pizza up in the air all the time, because it's really important to have that natural cook on the base, on the top, from the flame, right? Very, very important. That's what makes a good pizza napoletana. We don't want to pick up the pizza and cook in the air on the next to the flame, right? Because we call that pizza bampata. Pizza la regina. Let's eat. Have a look at the cell structure within the dough. Okay, this indicates the pizza napoletana has been cooked perfectly. We still have that beautiful softness, a little bit of crispiness, the bounce back, which is important. The dough is bouncing back, which means the pizza has been cooked correctly. Vincenzo, I'm starving. Dai, let's eat some pizza, yeah? We need to make people understand also, how do we eat pizza napoletana?
Right.
Allora, there's two ways.
Yes.
One, we fold the two ends and we fold that part in and we eat.
Pocket version.
The other way, the most traditional way,
Oh, wow.
we fold it in like this.
You need to be an engineer to do that.
Bravo.
The last two recipes are dedicated to dessert, the best way to finish a meal. And what a dessert I'm about to introduce you. This is the Vincenzo's plate tiramisu, a wonderful dessert that you must love. When I met my wife, she said to me she didn't love tiramisu. And I was, oh, why not? But then I went to restaurants here in Australia and I found out why. Well, this tiramisu will be loved by everyone. Even by you, if you don't like tiramisu. Make it my way. Today we are making the perfect tiramisu, my favorite dessert. This is better than cannoli, better than panna cotta. This is the king of all desserts. Let's make it together. These are the ingredients that you need to make the perfect tiramisu that fits in a 9 by 13 inches Pyrex. 5 beautiful extra large eggs, free range, please. 1 large packet of Savoiardi biscuits. Please get the real Italian deal, please. 500 grams of mascarpone, which is 2 small tubs. 3 or 5 tablespoons of white sugar. It's up to you how much you want to use. 700 ml of Italian coffee, cocoa powder, and a little bit of icing sugar for decoration. I've always used raw eggs for my tiramisu, always. But in my previous videos, lots of you said to me, oh, why do you use raw eggs? That's what you use for authentic tiramisu. But today, for majority of you who are scared of raw eggs for tiramisu, this is how we do it, okay? We're gonna bain-marie our eggs. Now let's divide the egg yolks and the white of the egg, okay? Okay, so here we go with the white, egg white, and the egg yolk. And now you wash your hands, okay? It's a must. Now we're going to pasteurize the eggs, so we have no risk of salmonella, okay? What we need to do is we get a pot full of water, we make sure the water is boiling. Then what we do is we switch off the stove so the water is still hot. You put a bowl on top so the steam will warm up the eggs. You put the egg and you mix it. Mix it with a hand mixer. Mix. And if you have a thermometer, use it because you can check the temperature of the eggs. You don't want to exceed the 60 degrees Celsius, okay? 60 is the maximum I will recommend you. Even less, it's okay? And when you get to the point, you stop. I will recommend about 1 minute, 2 minutes the most on, with this, then you take it off and you finish it off the stove, okay? So you don't risk to get scrambled eggs. Now it's time to add 5 tablespoons of white sugar to the egg yolk. And when you get this consistency with the yolks, you are done and you are ready to add the mascarpone. We want to make sure, guys, we don't boil this, okay? We don't boil it. Gentle. See, guys, when you get something this beautiful and thick like that, you're ready, okay? Now we're gonna add the mascarpone, 500 grams of mascarpone in this one. All right, now let's mix this mascarpone with the eggs. Come on. Slowly. Make sure they make love together. Hello. Look at that. This is beautiful thick cream. This is what we want for a tiramisu. Look how wonderful. And we are gonna mix it and fold it with a spatula, okay? Do not use the mixer here. Just like this. Beautiful. And here is the cream for our tiramisu. Now it's time to dunk the Savoiardi in the coffee. And this is what I do. This is my technique, okay? Because that's how I like to have my tiramisu. Cold coffee. We're gonna place the Savoiardi for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and out. Get everything out. And then we place it in the Pyrex. Now we're covering the first layer with the mascarpone and egg mix, okay? So let's start. And here we go. Now we want to spread this everywhere. You put as much as you want, okay? Now what we need to do is to cover this layer with cocoa powder, okay? Just like that. Just put cocoa powder everywhere. Now we do the second layer. We follow the same steps we use in the first layer, okay? And make sure you follow also the position of your Savoiardi. What do you think of this beauty? Beauty. Now what we want to do is get some plastic wrap and we want to cover this, okay? Now you can have this in the fridge for 4 hours, okay? If you really want to have it on the same day. But for you to have the best tiramisu experience ever, you want to do this the day before. So the day before you do it, leave it in the fridge and then you enjoy it. The day after will taste so much better. The third day will be the best of the best experience for you. The fourth day will be great. The fifth day, you don't want to have it anymore, okay? Hopefully it doesn't last that long. This, it's a masterpiece. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye, baby. See you tomorrow. Good morning, tiramisu. Good morning. Hey, did you sleep well? Yum. It's soft, it's moist. Let's decorate a little bit. So we're gonna put some icing sugar around it. Just you don't go on the tiramisu. It does melt in my mouth. Last but not least is one of the most popular desserts on the planet, together with tiramisu. It's the panna cotta. I make a beautiful panna cotta with strawberry coulis. You can use raspberries or blueberries or whatever you like. This panna cotta, it's easy to make. It's done in 5 minutes, but all you have to do is to rest it in the fridge overnight. This panna cotta will amaze every single guest that comes to your house. This is restaurant quality panna cotta, and this is how you make it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Panna cotta, together with tiramisu, is the most popular Italian dessert. We're making panna cotta for 4 people, and these are the simple ingredients that we need. So we need 90 grams of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 300 ml of cream, 3 gelatin leaves, which is about 5 grams of gelatin leaves. And then to make the sauce, you know, the beautiful sauce that we need for the panna cotta, we need 50 grams of white sugar and 250 grams of nice fresh strawberries. First thing we want to do is to get the gelatin leaves, and the gelatin leaves needs to be placed for about 5 to 7 minutes in water. Panna cotta means cooked cream. There's no milk involved. So what we do, we put the cream in the pan in a little pot. You don't need a large pot, just a little one. We turn it on, and we want to cook the panna cotta, but not boil. We do not want to boil it. What you want to do instead, you want to warm up the cream. You want just to see a little bubbles on the edges, okay? When you see the bubbles on the edges, it means that the cream is ready. After about 2 minutes, I'm going to add the 90 grams of sugar, okay? So what's gonna happen now, the sugar is going to melt in the cream, and it will taste nicer. Now the sugar is in there, and we are going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Just stir so the vanilla extract goes everywhere. All those bubbles are here, little bubbles. So what we do now, we switch off and we put the gelatin inside. The gelatin by now will be ready. So as you can see how it changed? What we want to do is we want to squeeze the gelatin, all the water out, squeeze it, and then we put it in the cream, just like that. Squeeze it out, ready to go in the hot cream. So at the moment, the cream is nice and hot. So you want to make sure that you put the gelatin right now when it's nice and hot, because the gelatin needs to melt. You don't want to eat the gelatin the way it is. You want the gelatin to disappear in the cream. The gelatin will help to make this dessert nice and dense. You can use gelatin in many other desserts, but it is important that the gelatin dissolves. You don't want to eat the piece of gelatin. That's not a good thing to do. As you can see, the gelatin melts very quickly. Within 2 minutes in this hot water, your gelatin, it is melted. So just keep stirring, and then once the gelatin is completely melted, dissolved, we are going to place it in glass. Okay, look, as you can see, I can't see any pieces of gelatin. I don't see any lumps. Our panna cotta now needs to be transferred into a glass. You can use the cupcake mold if you want. You can use anything you like to shape your panna cotta. I just love to put my panna cotta in a glass because it looks elegant, it looks sexy, and it's much easier to serve. So now, all you have to do is to put the panna cotta in the glass. You just want to make sure you cover the panna cotta before you put it in the fridge, because it needs to be sealed. We do not want the top part of the panna cotta to go dry. And now we're going to place a panna cotta in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours. Yes, you do need time now to wait, because the gelatin needs to make this dense, okay? I do like to make my panna cotta the day before. I think it's set better. You do need at least 4 hours to make sure the panna cotta sets. And also you want the gelatin to create this dense dessert for you, okay? You need time. This is a slow process, you know? In the meantime, we can make the strawberry sauce, the strawberry coulis for our panna cotta. Fridge! Now we're making a strawberry sauce for the panna cotta, but you can use blueberries, raspberries, any type of fruit that you want. You can use caramel, you can put chocolate, you can put Nutella. Honestly, anything you want to put as a sauce, go for it. I'm just showing you the simple way to do it. And again, you can be done with blueberries or raspberries if you follow this way. So we just cut the top part of the strawberries, and we want to cut the strawberries into 4. Let's turn the cooktop on a medium heat, and let's put the strawberries inside. Beautiful strawberries. Oh, I love the smell of strawberries. In the comment below, you need to tell me what is your favorite sauce for the panna cotta. At this point, we're also going to add the sugar, 50 grams of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of water. What is the water going to do? The combination of water and sugar is going to help the strawberries to release the juice, which is what we want for this recipe. In about maximum 5 minutes, our strawberries will be so beautiful and soft, ready to be blended. There is not much to do, guys. It's so relaxing, so easy. And if you want, you can make extra sauce if you want. You can use it on your pancakes, you can use it on English muffins, on croissants. You can use it any way you want. See, a very simple hand blender will do the job. If you're using a stainless steel pan, you can put this straight in the pan. I'm gonna do it in here, and I'll show you how beautiful it's gonna turn. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now we place the strawberry in the blender. Now let's quickly blend our strawberries. And here it is, guys. The strawberry sauce is here for your panna cotta. Same process like the panna cotta. We put plastic wrap on top and we keep it in the fridge for the next 4 hours or until the panna cotta is ready. I really cannot wait to pour this sauce on the panna cotta and eat it. Yes, I want it right now. Guys, after a few hours, our panna cotta is ready. So what we do is we remove the plastic and we do the test. The test is this. And let's see if the panna cotta goes on the table. The panna cotta is not going anywhere. The panna cotta is perfect. It is important that your panna cotta is not runny, otherwise it's not a panna cotta anymore. Here we have the strawberry cream. We're gonna put the strawberry cream in the panna cotta, but don't put too much, okay? We just want the strawberries to go on top to cover it, but not too much. See, that will be enough. The panna cotta is the king of this recipe, okay? And here we have the other one. Just wanna put the strawberry coulis in there. Beautiful. Make sure it goes everywhere. Yum, oh, it's very generous in this one. Oh my God, I love this. I love it, I love it, love it, love it, love it. These are classy, just the way they are. But let's say I want to make it more fancy. What I can do, I can add some blueberries in there. Just to make it a little bit fancier. I've got some basil here, just because I don't have mint at home. Otherwise, I would say go for mint. Put a little bit of basil there, just give a little bit of green. And here we have the panna cotta that I want you to have. Sauce, look how deep it's dipping. Oh. And then I've got the beautiful cream, cooked cream there. Let's have it. Guys, did you enjoy my 10 recipes selection? Have I missed something? Maybe I did. Have I missed some of my recipes that you think deserves to be in these top 10 recipes? Maybe I did. I've got hundreds of recipes out there, so I'm pretty sure you will say, why the cacio e pepe is not there? I know. Why is the pasta alla carrettiera is not there? I know. Why is my famous cherry tomato sauce is not there? I know. Why is the marinara sauce not there? Why is the pasta alla norma is not there? Why is the lasagna not there? Why is your nonna timballo not there? I know. It was very difficult to choose these 10 top recipes. I think they're pretty good. So let's start with this. You guys go and make them. I give you 10 weeks to make them, 1 a week. And then come back to me and say, Vincenzo, you were right. Or you can say, Vincenzo, I think you can replace this dish with cacio e pepe or whatever. Let me know. So thank you so much for watching this episode. It was great to be with you. I hope these recipes will motivate you to cook more, to experiment more, and to have more fun in the kitchen. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next Vincenzo's Plate video recipe. E ora si mangia. Vincenzo's Plate. No cream in carbonara.